Okay, so we have that. And here we go. We got that. Hello. Good morning. And we're going to work on the 3 digits because now I got some 3 digits. So, here we go. Here is my abacus. An abacus is a counting tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to read hundreds, tens, and ones. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. What we're going to do is we're going to learn how to read and visualize our numbers. So we're going to count on the abacus. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. The top is a value of 5, like that. That's what 5 is. This is not 5. This is 9. How do I know? Because I have 5, and then 4 is 9. So this would be 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. This would be 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. We have 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then we have 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. So we are going to learn how to do this. We're going to read, and I'm going to test you. So, thank you everybody for joining. Oh, this book is available in my shop. It's right there pinned. Yes, you can actually purchase a abacus with it, or it could be a 7-column abacus, or it could be a 13-column abacus. It is up to you. Or no abacus at all. It's up to you too. We have our number. We have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. So we're looking at our hundreds, tens, and our ones. Now, I don't know if... Hold, please. There we go. That's better. So the top is a value of 5. We notice that the top is a value of 5, and then we have the 1. So 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. We have the top is a value of 5, right? And again, it's touching this horizontal bar. The horizontal bar is what counts the abacus, and then we have 3. 1, 1, 1. We have 1, 1, 1. So... I don't know if that works. Okay. So, if you notice, we have our 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. So we have 6, we have 8, and we have 7. Oh, I wonder what this looks like. Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you so much for joining. Hello. Thank you so much for liking the live. I do appreciate that. So we have 687. That's what that would look like. And then we have our next number, 687. Right? That's what 687 is. And then we have our next number. Yeah, see, I don't think that's going to work. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Good morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
So we have 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 ones. And then we have 2, 1, 1. There's 2 of them. And then that's 1. So then here we look. We have 421. And that's what that would look like. 421. So 421. That's what that would look like. We're visualizing our numbers. After we visualize our numbers, we can do some adding, subtracting. You can even multiply and divide on this abacus. You can actually do that. But the first thing you need to do is really understand how to read the abacus. We have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. So when we're looking, we have 194. Why are you... Ooh, that's a good question. Thank you, Michelle. So the reason why is because I have a dot right here. This is my label. My label tells me that this is my ones place. That's why. So when I look, every column is a place value. Thank you so much for the comment. So we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands, and our 10,000s. Notice I have another label here. That label tells me it's the thousands. So I have 2 labels, one here and one here. That would leave this one to be my decimals. So if I wanted to have talk about decimals or money or whatever, I have my tenths and my hundreds. That's why. That's a good question. Thank you so much for the comment. Now I know I'm not the only one in the room. Sparks that little bit of curiosity for everybody. So we have our hundreds, our tens. We have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. Good morning. Good morning, colloquial rubbish. Good morning. Very early, very early. Yes, thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Good morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know. Any questions about Abacus, let me know. Just stop me at any time because that's the point, right? The idea is to try to understand. My goal is to for you to understand what it is that I'm doing. And if I just did it on my own, then you don't understand anything. So let me know if I go too fast. Let me know if you have any more questions. And so when we're looking, I enjoy watching you. Ah, thank you, Postal Effect. So we have 194. That's what 194 is. And then we have our next number. We have our hundreds. We have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. And that's what we have. So remember the top is a value of 5, 5, and 5, right? So because we have that, we have 5 here and then 2 here. We have 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. We have 1, and then 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. There we go. So my final answer would be 700, 717. 717. That's what that would look like. 717. There we go. And then we have our next number. Okay, how are we doing? Thank you so much for liking the live. Thank you so much for liking the live. I have my next number. We have our hundreds. We have our tens. We have our ones. So we have our number. What number do we think that is? We have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. Thank you. Hello, Merc. Good morning. Good
Step
morning.
2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, city! Good morning, city!
Hello, Can of Cricket. Good morning to you too. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning wall, morning ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
Woo! Good night for you. Oh, I just got off work. That's a crazy schedule. That's a crazy schedule. We have 232. Woo! That's a very crazy schedule. Thank you. I do thank you, Merc, so much for joining after your time off work and joining to introduce and continuing to look at the abacus. I do appreciate that. I appreciate everybody's time learning how to read the abacus. Because it's one of those things like, why are we doing this? And it's like, well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep your brain active. So it's like brain gymnastics, what we're trying to do. I'm trying to provide brain gymnastics. So it's kind of equivalent to Sudoku, crossword puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, word searches, and all that sort of puzzleness. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to ward off dementia. And so if you're wondering, yes, I do have books available from in the TikTok shop, and I do have available here. My name is Lynette. I've been an Abacus teacher for about 20 years, and I see that there's a difference of keeping your mind active, and that's what we're doing is we're keeping our mind active. You could use a calculator, not a problem. You could use a calculator, but then that would kind of not help the situation of warding off dementia, because what does that do, right? What we want to choose, we want to keep our mind active, just like reading and doing some writing and not using the GPS so much, trying to keep your brain active so it continues to keep learning and moving. So even though our brains, because our brain is a muscle. So we have our next number, we have our hundreds, we have our tens, and we have our ones. What number do we think this is? Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you so much for liking the live. Thank you so much for liking the live. Oh my God, you guys should have been there last night. So there was another person that had an auto clicker. It was really crazy. I gotta invest in an auto clicker. That's what I gotta do. So, what number do we have? We have the top beat is a value of 5. We have the 3 bottom beats. Do you have an auto clicker on too? Thank you so much for liking the live. Thank you, Merc. It is 818. Thank you. Well done, well done. Because we have the top beat is a value of 5. We have the bottom beat's a value of 3. 1, 1, 1. We have 1 here, and then again, we have the top beat is a value of 5, and we have 3 bottom beats. 1, 1, 1. So we have 818. Hello, Danny. Hello, Danny. I gotta, you know what I'm gonna do is I gotta poll everybody to see if anybody has an auto clicker. Oh my God, it was hilarious yesterday. It was hilarious. Okay, what's our next number? So we have our tens, we have our hundreds, no. We have our hundreds, we have our tens, and we have our ones. just clicking a lot. Oh, thank you, Postal Effect. I think yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, it's either 7 or that's funny. I am well. I'm well. How are you doing, Viz? So we have our thousand. No, we have our hundreds. We have our tens, and we have our ones. What number do we think that is? We have 253. That's what that is. And so we have our next number. So we have 253. Remember, the top is a value of 5. The 2, right? 1, 1, those are 2. And then 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 3. And so we have our next number. Whew. What do? We have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. What number? Thank you for the follow, David Martinez. Thank you so much for the follow. What number? So we have the top beat is a value of 5. These are all touching, so these are counted. And then we have these three beads are touching. These columns are touching as well because we have our 4, 1, 1, 1, 1. There's 4 of them here. So 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. And then 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. So what we're looking at is we're understanding how to read the abacus. So this is 987. That's what that is. 987. And then we have our next number. We have our hundreds, we have our tens, and we have our ones. What number do we think that is? We have our hundreds, tens, and ones. Here is the place value holder. We have our hundreds, our tens, our ones. This is thousands, and then this is the 10,000s. So we got to do that. There. So it's 712. That's what that is. Why? Because this is the top beat is a value of 5, and the bottom means a value of 2. 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. This is 1, and this is 2. There we go. Thank you, Thank you, PNW. Thank you, PNW. Yes, it is 712. So we have our next number. We have our hundreds, we have our tens, and we have our ones. When we're looking, the top beat's touching the horizontal bar. This one is not touching the horizontal bar, so this 5 is not considered counted. The only thing that's here is 4. So we have this one is counted, so this is 9. So 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. This is 4, and this is 5. Hello, Andy did it. Hello. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Andy did it. Hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, City! Good morning, City!
So for those of you that are interested, go ahead and check in at the orange heart me, like that's above my head. And that will help TikTok know that you are an actual real person, and you start leveling up. And so if you notice, Andy did it, there is a 22. That's Andy's gifting level. Just so you know, that's how TikTok is working. It is not to help me, it has helped you, and to show that that you are a viable person. Good morning, Andy. Thank you so much for joining. So we have 945. And then we have 945, and then we have that. Oh, we are up to the end. So then we can actually start going into some adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. So the first thing we're going to do is understand how to read the abacus. So we have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. So we have our hundreds, tens, and our ones. That's what we're doing. What number do we think this is? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So we have our hundreds. So if the 5 is ones, no. If that was the case, if it would look like this, it would be like that, like this, like that. So it would be 5.6. Yeah, then it would be that. Then it would be that. 5.67. That's what it would be. So here, yes, so we have 324. That's what that would look like. Yeah, so if the columns are, yep. But we only do it because there's a label right here. That's why. Because I have a label here, and then that's where this would go into effect. Oh, here. So, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So because we have a label right here, right, this would be our ones place. So then we can line it up, and then we can do 3,456. And then yes, you're right. The next columns would be decimals, right? Because we can make it one step. It would be 73,456.25. That's what that would be. Yep, you're right. And that would be the decimals. This would be the tenths, and this would be the hundredths. So if I did this, right? If I did that, I have a whole row of fives. If I have a whole row of fives,
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.
so this is 55,555.55. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, City! Good morning, City!
Yes, good morning. So then you can have a whole row of sixes. That would be a whole row of sixes. This would be a whole row of eights, right? And then I could do a whole row of nines.
99 problems, but a ain't one. If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a ain't one. Hit me.
Good morning, Stephanie. Thank you so much for dropping by. Thank you so much for dropping by. So then this would be the thousands, right? This is where the comma is. That's why I have the comma there, because it's easier to see with the comma. Because it's a little bit harder to see when there's no comma. But then you can actually choose this one to be your ones place. So thanks for loving. Thanks for having me. So awesome. So we have our ones, we have our tens, but our ones and our thousands. If you want, you can actually choose this one to be your ones place, just like a Pokemon. You can choose any one to be your ones place.
Pokemon, I choose you!
So if I choose this to be my ones, I can still count, right? I can do my Roman numerals. I can do Roman numerals. 1, I could do 2, I could do 3, I could do 4. 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. 5 is the top beat, right? 5 is the top beat like that. That's what 5 looks like. We have 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. We have 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. We have 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. And then we have 10. 10 is a 1 and a 0. So we continue on. If this is still our ones place, we can have a really, really small number. So we can do this. We can do 0.00001. So it doesn't matter which dot you use to be your ones place. Does that make sense? So, I do have the other one. If you're looking for something a little bit bigger, because size matters, I have a 13-column abacus. This is a 13-column abacus compared to the 7-column abacus. What's the difference? Just the size. The colors mean nothing. So when we're looking, it works exactly the same. We have our dots. There's a dot here. There's a dot here. Thank you, Stephanie, for the tiny diny. Thank you, Stephanie, for the tiny diny. So we have another dot here, and a dot here, and a dot here. So what that means is if I choose this one to be my ones place, then every dot is my grouping. So we have our ones, our thousands, and our millions. So we have our ones, our thousands, and our millions. So we can actually do million. We could do 3,425,356. And then this would all be decimals. All of this after that would be decimals because this is my considered ones. However, if you wanted this to be your ones place, then you have your, every dot is a grouping. So we have our ones, our thousands, our millions, billions, and then trillions. So we can count up to 1 trillion if you really wanted to. Why would I use this one? I probably use this one when I do division because I need more space. And that on division, I use the different columns to help guide the numbers. Thank you, George, for the follow. And so that would be the same thing with this, but it's a little bit more difficult because I'm restricted with the amount of columns that I have. So you can go here, the highest number we have is 99,000, right? On this one, the highest number would be in the trillions, right? And it's all the same. It all depends on where the beads are. So then again, if I look at 9, 9 is this. This is what 9 would look like. And then what's 10? 10 is a 1 and a 0. So we have 1 and a 0. Just like how we have, and then we just count it again. We can count by tens now. 10, 20, 30, 40. Why is it why is this 40? 40, because you have to remember that there's a 0 here, right? A 0 is like a placeholder. So we have our tens and our ones. Tens, ones. So if I did this, this would be 100. This is 200. This is 300 and then 400. We have 5,000. It's still exactly the same. This is 5,000. This is 5. So this is 5,005. It works exactly the same. We have 6,006, right? 7,007, 8,008, 9,009. Does that make sense? So we have the comma. Here is our thousands. So, okay, how are we doing? We're going to continue on to how do we, so if you're interested in more reading the Abacus, I do have this book available. Oh my God. Sorry. Okay. I do have this book available. In the beginning, we start talking about how to read the Abacus. This book is available in my TikTok shop. It's pinned down in the bottom. And then we have how to read the Abacus, and then this is the tens and the ones. So what we're doing is we're understanding how to read the tens and the ones, and it works exactly the same, right? We have our 300. I'm sorry, not 300. We have our 30. So just like we break up the digits here, we can break up our digits here. We have 30, 6, right? 30 and 6. So that's what that would look like. And then I would show you how it looks like as a picture on the Abacus. We have the 3 here and we have the 6 there. And then we can do hundreds, right? We talk about the hundreds, and here we have 547. So 547. That's what that would look like. And then this is what it would look like as a picture. So we have 547. And some people would ask, well, is it necessary to have an abacus? I think it is necessary to have an abacus because then you could see when it moves, right? Because when you're adding and subtracting, it's nice to see the beads move and then you know what to do with it. It's a little different because our brains don't really see and notice the 2-digit. It still takes time for us to translate what this number is. So we talked about 3-digit number, this number right here, right? We have what number? We have our 8, we have our 9, and then we have our 3. That's what that would look like. And so notice that when we go to the horizontal bar, that's adding, right? We added it. If we go away from the horizontal bar, we're subtracting. So I give you this maze. The maze, they're all done right now, but you do get it undone. And that means you have to color in the beads and then you color in the path. I give you this mask maze to cover up the answers because it's really easy to see the answers. That's why I give you the mask maze. For those of you that don't like the TikTok shop, I do have it available here. My name is Lynette, and I have been teaching Abacus for about 20 years. Thank you, Divine, for the follow. And so I give you the mask maze when you have the opportunity to download the printable mask. I give you another thing called a reverse maze. A reverse maze means I give you the number and I give you the path. Thank you, Divine. I give you the number and I give you the path, and I want you to color in the color in the Abacus. So this number is 313. So you're supposed to color in 313 on the Abacus. And that's what that is. So this is the 3-digit number. I do have, so depending on how old depending on what you will like, I do have a 2-digit abacus, right? Or a 4-digit. If you have young kids, like maybe kindergarten or first grade or even second grade, they can do the 2-digit one. The second grade, first grade, second grade, third grade can do the 3-digit one, and then there's the 4-digit one. 4-digit talks about the thousands, the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. And again, thank you, T, for the follow. And this is what an undone maze look like. And we talk about, and again, I explain what the digits are, right? We break this up. This is 6,223. So here we have 6,223. There we go, right? And then after that, we just talk about how to read it. And then, again, there's a math maze, and you have the opportunity to download it. So we have this number here. What number do you think this is? Oh, thank you, Kazoo, so much for your comment. Thank you so much for your comment. I am here.
Jeez, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Thank you, Busy. Thank you. Good morning, Busy. Yes, thank you. Good morning, Busy.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, city!
Yes, thank you, Busy. It is 5,420. Do I have an app online? I don't. Not yet. Right now, I've been busy publishing books. So these are all my books that I have created. I've got 14 books available in the TikTok shop as well as over here. My name is Lynette, and I am an Abacus teacher. So maybe later down the line when I get my books all squared away, because I want to do, there's a whole curriculum on the Abacus, and I want to finish the curriculum before I can start thinking about, because there's not enough bandwidth in my life to worry about an app just yet. But the plan is to do an app. It just takes a different set of skill to figure out what I want to put in the app. Because I know there's apps out there. There are Abacus apps out there, but none of them are mine. So maybe if I have some breathing room, I probably think about like starting how to figure out how to make an app. But for right now, because it's not just the fact of making the app, it's also what's going to go into the app. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm a little bit busy with all the lives and all the with the books that I want to publish, as well as my classes. So it does take a little bit of time to think that out. And again, I give you the reverse maze, meaning that you get the number, and then you have to color it in. So it would look something like this, right? I have the number, and you would color it in. So this is, I made that wrong, but this is supposed to be 373. And I have the answers in the back of the book. There you go. Yeah. Thank you, Daniela, for joining. So this one's available in my TikTok shop as well. And this one is a 4-digit maze. We talk about the thousands, the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. That's what that is. Yeah. So this is what it looks like without being done. And then your task is to color in the Abacus mazes. And then here I like to color in the paths of the answer. So these are the non-answers, but this is the real answer. Yep. There we go. All right. So we're going to continue on to if you're interested and you want to continue on with understanding the Abacus, I do have this available. This is a Abacus for adults. This one specifically is for if you're on a faster pace and you want to know everything about the Abacus. Not everything. This is majority of it. So what we're doing is here we go. So this is what I call the Abacus for adults, and you have the option to order with the Abacus, 7-column or the 13-column. It is up to you. But this one is what we're here is. Again, I walk you through adding, subtracting, and it builds confidence and promotes critical thinking. So we talk about how the works on the Abacus, right? This is the single digit, how to count, and then we talk about the double digit, right? The tens, and then we count from 1 to 100. It's up to you if you want to color in the counted beads. I would like to color in the counted beads just to see it, lit up. And then here is the review for the tens and the ones, place value. And then we have the mask maze. Again, the mask maze is for the mazes to cover up to cover this up. This is the nice bonus is that I did add in a place value card. This place value card is very similar to the one that I have, like this. So if you notice, I try to match it up where you can match it up to your, thank you, Jathan. Thank you, Jathan, so much for the follow. So we have it lined up. Notice I have my ones over here. So when I line it up, I have my ones, my tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. Thank you, Jathan, for the rose. Thank you so much for the rose. So now you know, right? And if I wanted to choose this one to be my ones place, then you got to shift everything over like this. So then I have my ones over here. That means that everything should line up here. We have our ones. Oops, we have our ones. There's the decimal. This is the tenths, hundredths, thousands, 10,000s, and then the 100,000s. So that's what this place placard is, right? This place card holder. And then I would cut it out, and some people's going to laminate it. I would color it in, but I would put it on a thicker piece of paper of some sort. That's what I would do. Then we have our mask maze, right? This is our mask maze. This is the maze, the Abacus maze. Again, you figure out what the number is, and then you can follow the path. Right? So if this is 23, I follow the path. I know that this is 63, I follow the path. And then the idea is to go all the way to the finish line. And then we talk about the 3-digit number. The 3-digit number, we review what a 3-digit number is. This is what a 3-digit number is. And then we have the maze again. And then after that, this is a 4-digit number. And then this is where you get a little bit of the reverse maze. Again, I give you the path, and then you're supposed to color in the Abacus number, like that. And then here we have adding, how to add on the Abacus. Adding goes to the horizontal bar. That's what adding is. And then we do subtraction. Subtraction is going away from the horizontal bar. So if we did a little bit of this, let's see. Here we go. What number do you think this is? So if I show you on my Abacus, there we go. So I show you on my Abacus, what number do you think this is? If I have my hundreds, my tens, and my ones, what number do you think that is? Thank you, Busy. Yes, so it is 123. So then our next number would be what? So we have 123 plus, what is our next number? Thank you, Busy. It is 565. So I give you the opportunity to write the number here, right? And then you would have to add the 5. So you add the 5. Is there enough? Yes. Add the 5. Now to add the 6, what is 6? 6 is one beat on top, one beat on bottom, and you bring it together to add the 6. That's what that is. And then you add the 5 again. Is there enough? Yes. Add the 5. So what is my final answer? So our final answer, we go here. What is our final answer? Thank you, Busy. Yes. 688. Yep, that's what that would be. And then I only give you like one page because I feel like that this is kind of easy. And then we start going to subtraction. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, Busy, for checking in. Thank you so much for checking in. So then we know, right? Like taking away. Taking away just means we move it away from the horizontal bar. So if I have 9, I take away means I just take it away from the horizontal bar. That's what I'm doing. Hello, Fab. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for following. So when we're looking, we have 2, right? If I have 9 on the Abacus, I want to take away 2. I just take away these 2 beads. So notice I take it away from the horizontal bar. That's what minus 2 is. So I can keep going. So this is what the whole page is. This whole page is a lesson page. This page tells you how to move the beads. So if I have 6, I want to take away the 6. 6 is 1 bead on top, 1 bead on bottom. So what happens is it's 1 bead on top, 1 bead on bottom. So my final answer, oh, you can't see that. If I have 9 on the abacus, I want to take away 6. It's 1 bead on top, 1 bead on bottom. And my final answer is 3. So then I give you a few questions over here. So what, there we go. So what is our next question? I just joined. Okay, hold on, Fab. Hold on, Fab. Let me finish my thought and we can review. But thank you so much for the comment. I do appreciate the politeness. Thank you. I do appreciate it. You're very polite. Thank you. I do appreciate that. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what this number is. What number do you think that is? We have our hundreds. This is our hundreds. This is our tens. And this is our ones. Every column is a place value. And when we are looking, I can't do that. Thank you. There we go. So I have my hundreds, my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. So when we're looking, we have four beads right here. So 1, 1, 1, 1. This is the 400 because I have a dot right here that tells me the ones place. So we have our ones, our tens, and our hundreds. Hello, Paula. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, we're gonna continue on with reading the abacus. So that's what we're doing right here. We're gonna read the abacus. This number here is actually 9. 9 is the top bead. The 5 is the top bead. The value of 5 is the top bead, and then we have 1, 1, 1, 1. So notice that this one right here is not the top bead, is not touching, so it's not being counted. This is 4, this is 9. We know that when you add the 5 to the 4, it's equal to 9. Does that make sense? So we have 4, 9, and then our next number is 6. The top bead of value of 5, and then the 1. So 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. So our number is 4, 9, 6. When we want to, we want to subtract. We want to subtract. And then we have our next number. We have our 2. This is what 2 is. So we're going to take away 200. So we take away 200 like this, take away 200, and then we want to take away 7. So take away 7, take away 5, take away 2, take away 5, take away 2. That's 7. And then we have 1. This is what 1 looks like. So we take away the 1. Does that make sense? So we have 2. So our final answer is we take away 2, 7, 1. And so our answer is, and it shows up on the abacus. So that's the magic of the abacus, is that it tells you what the answer is on the abacus. It's like magic. Right? So we have 225. Did that make sense? Fab and Paula, did that make sense? So what we're doing is we're understanding how to subtract as well as understand how to read the beads. Hello, Fluffer Nutter. Yeah. So the biggest thing is understanding how to, oh my gosh. So the first thing to do is understand how to read the abacus, and then you're going to know how to move the beads. Right? So what we're looking at is we're looking at the numbers. So we could do it again, right? We could do it again here. Oh, excuse me. So we could do it again here. Tell the abacus. Wait, can I buy this and try it out for myself? Yeah, you could buy it. I have it available in my TikTok shop. It's pinned down in the bottom. I actually have the book. This book is all available for you. It's all for adults, and that's what we're doing. So in the beginning of the book, I explain how to read the abacus, and then we do counting from 1 to 100, and I have the mask maze, and then we start talking about how to read the abacus, and we're actually going into, I give you another abacus maze, and this is a 3-digit number. And then we talk about the 4 digits. This is the reverse maze. And then we were actually going into adding and subtracting. So I talked about adding, and then we were doing subtracting, And so we're actually on the second page, on the final, we're actually on the next page, which is pixel art, which is an activity. Hello, CM. Hello. And then this one here, the questions are super easy. I know you could do it in your head. I know you could do it in your head. But the idea is to be able to see it on the abacus. So if I have 1 on the abacus, right? I have 1 on the abacus. I want to add 3. To add the 3, it is 1, 1, 1. Add this 3. Robert. Okay. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but okay. Thank you, Robert. Does that make sense? So the idea, I know you could do it in your head. These are super easy. But the idea is to be able to move the beat so then you could see it. And so we're going to continue on. So we have 7 on the abacus. 7, 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. That's what 7 looks like. And then what we're going to do is we need to add the 2. Add the 2 means this. 1, 2. Add these 2. So my final answer is 9. Hello, board. Are you on the bus already? That's so early. Good morning, board. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning wall, morning ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
Thank you, board. Good morning, Machiavelli. How are you? I'm very well today. Thank you, Machiavelli.
Gee, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Hello, Fanta. Thank you for spelling out your name. Yes, it is 10 o'clock. See, that's the thing. That's what I was trying to do is I was trying to get in early for the East Coasters. Thank you so much for letting me know, Fanta. So that's what this is, right? So CM, just so you know, this is my book. My book is available in the TikTok shop. It is also available here if you don't like the TikTok shop. My name is Lynette Young, and I've been teaching Abacus for about 20 years now. 20 years. And counting. My parents just drove past. Oh, and asked if I wanted a donut. That's cool. So we're going to continue on. And then here is where we start talking about concepts. And the concepts is adding of the 5. These are core concepts that when we add, just in general. But the abacus really emphasizes Oh, there we go. Really emphasizes the concepts of how to make a 5 and how to make a 10. They just tempted me with a donut. Hello, user 8477. What's the most fancy abacus in your collection? I don't know. I don't know. Well, let's see. I don't know if this is fancy. It's kind of pretty. And they're very easy to move. Very easy to move. Then, this one, but this is a Chinese abacus. So even with a Chinese abacus, you would still have to, you could still use it as a Japanese abacus. You would just have to ignore the top bead and the bottom bead. And now I want a donut. I know, right? Now I want a donut. Thank you. Board does that. Board tempts us with all these like food and stuff. The last discussion we had, it was about ice cream. Now it's about donuts. What kind of donuts do you like? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So the Chinese one, me too. They left me. Oh, sad panda. So we have the Chinese abacus. This is very similar to the Japanese Chinese abacus. It's just the beads are different. The beads are just different. That's all it is. And so we can count on the Chinese abacus. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we have 5, and now I want ice cream too. That's funny. So we have 5, and then we will trade this in to make this a 5. And then we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we trade this in to make this a 5, right? Because we have 5 here, we trade that in. But because now we have this, we have this. This would be 10. 10 is a 10 and a 1. And notice this one doesn't have any markings. That's the interesting thing. Yeah, the wood one is cool. Thank you. But I think I don't know if that's fancy. Yeah, I do. My my original one was actually made out of bamboo. This is my original one. I've had this one for about 20 years. This is what I started off with. Back in the day, 20 years ago, this is the only variation we had, and we had to get it straight from this one company. But now there's a whole lot of different variations. So when I saw this, I was like, "Ooh, this is kind of nice." Yeah, not a problem, Robert. Thank you for the question. Not a problem. That's a really good question, though, because not too many people know that there's different types of abacus, even the different styles. And so this one's a 23 column abacus, and then I sell the 13 column abacus, right? And then I also sell the 7 column abacus. Oops, sorry, 7 column abacus. And then what's the difference? Well, the color doesn't mean anything. It's just so you know, the color doesn't mean anything at all. And then the only difference is the size. But it works exactly the same. You can do small numbers on a big abacus, or you can do a small numbers on a small abacus. The size is only that makes the difference, because size matters. Depending on how big the number is, depends on how big your columns will be. That's all it is. Because every column is a place value. You know what I mean? So here you can only do 10,000s. You'll have your ones, your thousands, and your 10,000s. Here, if I choose this one to be my ones place, I can do the ones, thousands, millions, billions, and then trillions. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Yes, thank you. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Scientific calculator must have. Yeah. Scientific calculator. Yeah. I mean, if you enjoy calculators, but it's interesting. This is just a counting tool. It just visualizes your numbers. You actually do the counting, and you do the mental arithmetic in your brain, if you really think about it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning wall. Morning ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
Yeah, a graphing calculator, exactly. See, if you really get a calculator, go big. Go big or go home. Yeah, I mean, you can't do graphing on an abacus. You know what I mean? I'm not here to say don't use a calculator. Use a calculator. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to activate your brain. That's all I'm trying to do. Hello, Curtis. It is. Is that will hunt me till I cry. Thank you. That's so funny. It is an underrated. It is an underrated tool, and that's what it is. It's just a tool, right? Just like a pen and a hammer and a screwdriver. It's not an end all. I don't know why people think I don't use a calculator. I use a calculator, but I also use the abacus to keep my brain active. You know what I mean? Like I don't know the dichotomy. There's so many people are like, "Oh my god, you should just use a calculator." It's like you could just like you walk or you use a car. You know what I mean? They're two different things. It's not one only. There's my little rant. Use a calculator. Do it. But if you want to keep your brain active, then use the abacus. That's all. They love the car. I love the car. You know what I mean? I don't understand why people think it's only one or the other. It's not. It's a whole like slew of things, right? I like the bike. Let's go on a bike ride. You know what I mean? I like to go rollerblading. Let's do some rollerblading. The bus. See? I love the bus. I enjoy the bus. I'm sorry. Thank you. Oh, thank you, everybody, for the 5K. Angela, my homeschooling second and fourth grader work at place values. Which one would you recommend? I would recommend the higher ones. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you so much for asking. So the second grader might not know the 4-digit number, but the fourth grader should definitely know the 4-digit number. And then the second grader, depending on how far along they are, you could do either the 2-digit or the 3-digit. I think the 2 digit is a little bit too easy, but if you want to get a quick win, you could use the 2-digit number. It is up to you. Yeah, and then there is a whole bundle, but it does not include the 4-digit. If you're looking for like a whole set, and I pinned it down at the bottom. Though I haven't updated it with the 4-digit yet, so that would be separate. The only thing for the first grade bundle, I call it the first grade because it all depends on like what you're trying to do. But everybody needs to understand how to make a 5, minus the 5, make a 10. Make a 10 means carrying on and borrowing. That's what plus the 10 and minus the 10 is. And that's included in the bundle. And then also included in the bundle is this dry erase. Excuse me. I include the dry erase. This is a dry erase book that I've created, whereas you get the summary of how to make a 10, and then you get a summary on how to, my foot's starting to go numb. A summary of how to make a 10, meaning how do you make a 10 and how do you break it, right? We need to break the 10, and then this is the concepts of how to make a 10, how to make a 5. So I give you the prompt. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, and then you have to rewrite the equation. There's a formula, right? Plus the 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1. When do we use it? We use it when we have a question like 4 plus 4. And then because you can add, right behind it is subtraction. So if you know how to add the 4, you will know how to subtract the 4. That's what this is. Oops, sorry. If you know how to add the 4, you know how to subtract the 4. X and Y. Yeah. I was trying to bring in that whole like algebra. So again, if you know how to add the 3 on the 5, right? And I labeled it too. So utilizing the 5, how to add the 5, you want to take away the 3. And it's the same thing with this with the 10s. So we have the 10. You need to know how to add the 10, add the 9 to add the 9, and then behind it is subtracting of the 9. That's what the subtracting. So it goes. I don't want to go to algebra. Algebra's fun. Algebra's really fun. And so then at the back of the book, which is really kind of cool, I give you a workflow. So that means that every time you look at a number, and this encompasses every math problem for adding and subtracting, just so you know. If you know how to work this hello, Alma. Good morning, Alma.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, City!
So this is a workflow. It is very specific, and it's always going to be this. No matter what, no matter how big the number is, no matter how small the number is, it will always be that one number. So if I have one number that's 7 and you want to add the 4, you will always go through this workflow. Is there enough beads to add the 7? I'm sorry, we have 7 on the abacus, right? Is there enough beads to add the 4, right? Yes, there is. No, there isn't. So this is where the workflow is. Is there enough beads? Yes or no? If there is, then you add the beads. If not, you go down to here, right? Can you use the 5? No, you cannot use the 5 because it's already being used. So it's a no. So that's why you go down to here. Can I add now I have to add. There is no more no, right? So now I do 4. To add the 4, my formula is plus the 10 minus the 6. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 6. So my final answer is, I did that wrong. That one. Plus the 5, plus the 10 minus the 6. So my final answer is 11. Does that make sense, Angela? So when we're looking, this is the workflow. You will always go through this workflow over and over and over and over again. It does not matter. And it's the same thing. It's not a different concept for subtraction. It's the same concept, but just different, but just reverse. So do you have enough beads to take away? Yes or no? Do you have enough, do you have a 5 to take away? Yes or no? If no, then you go here. So the question is 17. So we have 17 on the abacus, and I want to take away 4. Is there enough to take away 4? No, there's not enough to take away 4. Is there enough to take away the 5? Yes, I could take away this 5. So then I do this one up here. I do minus the 5 plus the 1. So my final answer is 17. So this is the workflow you will always go no matter what. This is the end all of subtraction and addition. And if you know this workflow, that's what you see those kids. Those kids do this. They're doing abacus formulas. They're doing the abacus method. And then that's it. That's my book. So that one is the preschool one. But you will have to purchase this one separate. I don't have that one in the bundle. I haven't updated that bundle yet. But yeah, if you're looking for the 4-digit one for your fourth grader, you would have to purchase that one separately. That one is number 2. That would be number 2, and I just pinned this one. Thank you for the question, Angela. And I can go through a walkthrough. So inside each book of the concepts, so this is the +5, right? This is the +5. What I did is I also teach you how to utilize it. Notice that I talk about how to add a 4. Adding of the 4 is the second number. We do not focus on the result. What we do focus is, if we focus on the second number, do not focus on the result. So here is 4 plus 4. We don't want to say 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. No. What we want to do is we want to understand how do you add the 4. To add the 4, we need to plus the 5 minus the 1. And that's the concept, right? And so the concept of how do you add a 3, adding of the 3, that's the next one. So notice there's a 3 here, there's a 3 here. So these are the second numbers that we need to do. And then, again, we do the 2 and we do the 1. The concepts are all the same. So let's do how to make a 4. So here on the Abacus, I'll show you how to make a 4. On the Abacus, we add the 4. There's not enough beads to add another 4. This 4 cannot be added here because this is 44. Every column is a place value. So when we're looking, I just added 4 tens. That's not what I want. I want to add 4 to the ones place. To add 4 to the ones place, right, I can use some props, right? I can go here. I can add 4, but then I can add the 5. Adding the 5, is up here. I can give you 5, which is more than enough, but guess what? That's too much. I have to take away the 1. So if I take away this, my final answer is 8. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8. I could do it again on the Abacus. I can add the 5 and take away the 1, and my final answer is 8. So what did we have to do? We had to subtract in order to add. Let's do it again a different way. So these are concepts. So the concept is, if you know how to do this, right, then you know how to do the whole set. It's just the same thing, but different numbers. Different partners, different numbers. So we can do 4 on the Abacus. We have 4 on the Abacus. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want to add another 4. Again, mainstream math says what? Just count it all together, right? Just count it all. And then you're just you're just counting up. But in Abacus, we don't count up. In Abacus, we use concepts. The concept of how to make a 5. We want to round up. We want to round up to 5, right? To round up to 5, I need to add the 1. We got to get the 1 from somewhere. So what happens? You got to get the 1 from the top bead. You got to get the 1 from the top number, and then you add it to the bottom number. So we have to subtract, right? We have to take away. We have to give this away. So we give this away and we add it to the bottom bead. This now becomes 5. See? So we take it away and we add the 5. Then our answer is 8. So this is a concept. This is a concept that this is super easy, but the idea is to understand the concept. Thank you, Machiavelli, for the share. Thank you for the follow. So Adeline. Oh, there you go. So Adeline, how have you been? Thank you for the follow. Thank you. The lioness, the ioness. Yes, does that make sense? So when we're looking, we're making a 5. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Machiavelli, for the reminder. Please welcome everybody. Please follow, share, and like the live. Thank you, everybody. So what we're doing is we're understanding. And then see, we do it again here. It's the same thing, right? We have 3 on the Abacus. We have 3 on the Abacus. I want to add 4. To add the 4, what do? We need to make a 5. This needs to round up to 5. So I got to take away the 1 from here, take away 1 from the 3, add it to my 4, and now I've made a 5. So my final answer is 5, 6, and then that's 7. So 5 plus 2 is 7. Oh yeah, good. Good. Thank you, Alma, for the share. Thank you, Angela, for the share. For those of you that are interested in checking in, there is an orange heart me right above my head. That is what tells TikTok that you are a real person. Yeah. Good. Yeah, and it's and then just so you know, if you know how to do the regrouping, then you do the plus tens regrouping is exactly the same. But instead of doing 5, you do 10. Thank you. Thank you so much for the heart. Thank you so much for setting the heart me. Thank you everyone to 10,000. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. So, if you know how to add to the if you know how to round up to 5, you can round up to 10. And that's the key, because now what we're doing is we're compounding our knowledge. We're not having new strategies. It's the same strategy, but we're compounding the knowledge. I homeschool and I have a That's great. So Adeline, how have you been? What kind of abacus do you have? I'm not judging. I just want to know, because there's a difference between a 10-bead abacus and a soroban. This is a Japanese abacus. A 10-bead abacus works a little bit different. How many beads do you have on your abacus? Okay, you're gonna have to do some modification.
You need modification! Modify!
So the difference is a 10-bead abacus, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So that's my 10-bead abacus. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. There's no judging. I'm not here to judge. No. Thank you, Machiavelli, for your help. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
I'm not here to judge, so Adeline. I'm not here. No. So the 10-bead one is very different. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, Crispy! So here is very different. What you need to do, if you want to modify it, it is completely up to you. Thank you, Crispy, for the rose. What I would do is I would tape 5 beads like that, and I would leave these 4. There would be this extra one, right? That extra one would be ignored. Then I would tape another set. I would tape it all. I'd tape all one side 5. That's what I would do. Does that make sense, Adeline? So then what I would do is I would change the orientation of the abacus. I would change the orientation of the abacus, and I'd do that. Now, it works very similar to the soroban. I need a string. I need a string. Yes, hold on. Okay, then I would get a string of some sort. Oh, you can't see that. Hold, please. Here we go. I would get a string of some sort of string. It doesn't matter, right? Because the idea is you use a string to be very similar to the horizontal bar. So then you could start counting, right? If it looks like that, I then can count. 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. That's what 9 is. But then this bottom bead would be ignored. You would just have to ignore it, right? Or it's up to you if you want to break it apart and take it out. It's up to you. Or you can buy an abacus. It is up to you. But that's what I would do if you wanted to modify it and you want to keep with what you have. Because I know about like clutter and stuff, and just try to use what you have, which is perfectly fine. So you can modify it. If you look in my posts, I reposted. You'll see Chaotic actually redid the abacus. It's one of the reposts that I have. So I have a bunch of people that have modified the abacus or made their own abacus. It is completely up to you. You can actually make an abacus as well. All you would need is a bead, right? A bead. And then I'd have 5 beads, 1 bead on top and 4 beads on the bottom. And then I'd have like a string of some sort that goes in the middle. Because you're not looking for speed, you're looking for concepts, right? If you're looking for speed, then I would recommend going into investing in a I would invest in an Abacus. But if you're not looking for speed and you're looking for concepts and understanding, you can actually make an Abacus, or you can modify with what you have. It is completely up to you. I'm not here to judge. Those are your options. You know what I mean? So, but that's what I would do if you wanted to modify, if you want to follow my workbooks, because my workbook is all about the Soroban. It is not about the 10-beat abacus. So it is a little different, right? And that's why we have, that's why I tried to do an explanation on every book that I have. We talk about the 10 over, we talk about the 5 over here, and then, yeah. Look, here we go. And then we have the 10 beat over here. Yeah, I do have the Abacus available in my TikTok shop. Yes, thank you, Alma, for the... Yes. I do have it in my shop. Right? And so here is the plus 10s, and we're going to do the plus 10s. And again, I give you explanation on how the plus 10s should be. Right? So plus 10 is... how to make a 10 is 9 plus 1 is equal to 10. Yep. And then it goes all the way to 1. Right? You need to know how to add, and then again, notice that when we add the number. We don't focus on the result. We only focus on the added. Thank you. What age group is? Well, it depends. Who's it for? Because I have a bunch of I have a bunch of starting points. So who is it for, if you don't mind me asking? So like Adeline. Oh yeah. Wait. What age group is the workbook for suggested? Which one? The 10? After you know. So the process is, after you do the mazes, you do the 5 and then the -5. What age group? They all have to do the same thing. We all have to know how to add the 5, and we all have to know how to subtract the 5. We all need to know how to add the 10, and we all need to know how to subtract the 10. So the age group is not that specific. The worksheets, it's a little bit, no. I mean, it'll be very quick for your 4th grader. Your 4th grader will be able, the problem is your 4th grader will be able to do it in their head. I haven't made one, and I haven't made one for a 4th grader yet. But it is in the process. This one will probably be like 2nd grade, because they can't really do too many in their head, right? I just saw the best. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to read that. My kids are elementary. Oh wait, 4th and 2nd, pre-K. I just stumbled upon live. Right. Okay. Wait, I thought we talked about this. So, for the pre-K, I do have one that is a preschool book. So I have a preschool book as well. No, I didn't. I forgot, because I was working on my class today. And my class is going to start in a few. So I was going to, and then I worked on my work. I had to work on a class, and then I got tired. It was, oh, Angela, that's right. That's why I was confused. Right, because it's Adeline and Angela. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. No, bored. I completely forgot. And I was like, because I was working on my class. So I have a student. I do offer private tutoring. I do Zoom, and I was working on their class work. So Adeline, the pre-K, I do have one that's a preschool, and so I'm not going crazy. Thank you, Angela. This one is talking about how to read the abacus. This one is also just understanding the numbers and practicing their numbers and understanding the numbers and how it relates to the abacus. And then we go like from 0 to 9, and then these are all just activities. And then we start talking about and then you count forward, counting forward, and then counting backwards. We count backwards, and after counting backwards, we can count, what's in between. After what's in between, hello, Dawn. Good morning, Dawn. Thank you, Nada, for the follow. Good morning, Dawn.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, City! morning, city.
Good morning, marmalade. So then we talk about the numbers, what's surrounding, and then after that we do comparison. After the comparison, then we go into adding and subtracting. So that's the preschool book. The second grader and the fourth grader and the pre-K. Yeah. So for the other two, I would recommend the mazes. So depending on how well they're doing with their numbers, you can either do a 2-digit maze, a 3-digit maze, or a 4-digit maze. And I was trying to break that up. So the 4-digit maze might be really good for your fourth. See, that's why I was confused. Your fourth grader, right? And your second grader might enjoy the 3-digit maze or the 2-digit maze. And then everybody will need to go into how to make a 5, how to minus a 5, how to borrow, how to carry over. When you're in love, subliminal locks, that's so funny. When you're in love, you abacus, that's funny. That's cute. That's really cute. I like that. Hello, Judah. Thank you so much for the follow. Does that make sense, Adeline? So everybody still needs to understand these concepts, right? And then if you're worried about you, I do have an abacus for adults, so you can understand, like, instead of going through all the whole books, you can go through this book yourself. It's up to you. And I do have the bundles. I do have bundles. One of the bundle is a first grade book. The first grade book will probably be more encompassing for you. I've been brain-throwing puns. That's so funny, subliminal. That's so funny. I'll check in later. Thank you so much for explaining it for my kiddos. See you later. Okay, not a problem. See you later, Angela. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
That's so funny, subliminal locks. You're so funny. You're so funny. I'm starting to try to use the abacus you out when the trolls come in. Yeah. Oh, I got some new sound bites. But before I forget, I actually have to finish. Yeah, Adeline, did that make sense? So it all depends, and then and then this one actually goes through all of the different concepts. So we talk about the mazes, and then we start going to adding and subtracting, and then we have the pixel art, and then adding of the 5, taking away the 5. So this is all encompassing. Your fourth grader, you might want to try with your fourth grader, but I don't know if it's enough practice. So towards the end, it gets really hairy. Because we start talking about like a 2-step equation, and I give you all these examples for you to continue to practice, but then we're adding like 3-digit numbers, and then I have answers in the back of the book. There we go. Yes, always interested in solidifying my Oh, you know what? Then you might want to try this one for your fourth grader. If they already excuse me. You might want to try this one for your fourth grader, because it's a little bit faster pace, and it's not so redundant. It looks complicated. Now my head hurts. Oh, your head hurts because you've been doom scrolling too much, and your brain has been smoothing. So the abacus will help you activate your brain. That's what the abacus will do, Terrence. So Terrence is nice. Terrence, keep your brain active. Use the abacus. Yes, thank you, Don. 12,000 likes. That's great. I like that one. Keep your brain active, because doom scrolling doesn't help. Abacus will help you keep your brain active. All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining. I do need to go. I need to go get ready for class. But thank you so much. Well, I did my job. Get back to work. Get back to work. Get back to work, Dawn. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your help, Dawn. Thank you so much. All right. I am going to head out. Thank you for the follow. Simple added touch. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, everybody. Before I forget, if you want to check in now, go ahead and check in now. I just got here. Sorry, I'm heading out. Go ahead and check in now if you're interested becoming part of my community, but also showing TikTok that you're a real live person. So thank you, everybody, for joining. I do gotta go. See you all later.
We are so glad you came. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye now. Bye. Bye-bye. Remember, please discard all candy wrappers and popcorn containers in the nearest trash receptacle. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay. Are they all gone? Is everybody gone? Huh? Good. Oh my gosh, my cheeks are killing me. I can't keep smiling like this anymore. I am exhausted. I think I need a break. A little break? Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a good day. You're welcome. Thank you for joining and spending your time with me. Thank you so much. Simple added touch.